The containment bay of the celestial ark hummed with the low thrum of life support systems. But the sound did nothing to calm the creature cowering in the corner. Rickson, barely 3 cycles old by Cathari standards, pressed his scaled back against the reinforced wall, yellow eyes flickering with equal parts pain and defiance. Dr. Alina Ward approached slowly, the vial of medicine clutched in her gloved hand. She'd been warned. Every xenobiologist on the station had made it abundantly clear. Cathari were apex predators on their homeworld, engineered by evolution to hunt, to kill, to dominate. Even their young possessed retractable claws that could shred plasteel and a jaw strength capable of crushing bone. Easy. Rickson, Alina whispered, her voice barely audible above the environmental controls. I'm here to help. The cub's lips curled back, revealing rows of serrated teeth. A low growl emanated from deep within his chest, a sound that would have sent any sensible creature fleeing. But Alina had stopped being sensible the day she volunteered for the Xenological Rescue Initiative. Rickson had been found drifting in an escape pod near the outer colonies, the sole survivor of a Cathari transport ship destroyed in a skirmish between rival factions. His parents were gone. His pack was gone. All that remained was a frightened child in a body designed for violence, suffering from an infection that would kill him within days if left untreated. The other researchers had suggested sedation, remote treatment, anything to avoid direct contact with a species that had clashed with human colonies for the better part of 2 decades. But Alina knew better. She'd read the psychological profiles, studied the behavioral patterns. Cathari weren't just predators, they were social creatures, pack-oriented, with complex hierarchies built on trust. And trust couldn't be built from behind a force field. I know you don't understand me, Alina continued, lowering herself to a crouch several meters away. But this will help. The infection in your leg, it's spreading. Without this medicine, you won't make it through the week. Rickson's growl intensified. His injured hind leg trembled, the wound weeping a bioluminescent fluid that stained the floor beneath him. He'd refused food for 3 days, refused water for 2. And now he was refusing the one thing that could save his life. The vial in Alina's hand contained a broad-spectrum antibiotic synthesized specifically for Cathari physiology. It was expensive, difficult to produce, and absolutely necessary. But to Rickson, it was just another threatening object wielded by a strange alien creature. Alina studied the cub's body language, the flattened ear ridges, the dilated pupils, the way his claws scraped against the floor in preparation for a strike. He wasn't just scared. He was waiting to see if she was prey or predator. An idea flickered in her mind. Dangerous, possibly stupid, but it was the only thing she could think of. Slowly, deliberately, Alina unsealed the vial. The sharp medicinal scent filled the air between them. Rickson's nostrils flared, and his growl stuttered for just a moment. Then, maintaining eye contact with the cub, Alina raised the vial to her lips. Dr. Ward, what are you? The voice of her supervisor crackled through the comlink, but Alina had already muted it. She took a sip. The antibiotic tasted like metal and ash burning its way down her throat. It wasn't designed for human consumption, and she'd probably need her stomach pumped within the hour, but that didn't matter. What mattered was the way Rickson's entire posture shifted. The growling stopped. His yellow eyes widened, fixated on the vial, then on Alina's face. She could see the calculations happening behind those predatory eyes, the same instinct that made pack leaders taste food before allowing the young to eat, the same evolutionary imperative that built trust through shared vulnerability. Alina extended her hand, the vial resting in her open palm. See, not poison, just medicine. For a long moment, nothing happened. The containment bay held its breath. Then slowly, Rickson moved. It wasn't a pounce or a strike. It was a cautious, limping crawl. Each movement clearly caused him pain, but he kept coming. Kept moving toward this strange human who had done something no Cathari would do with prey. Shared something valuable without demanding submission first. When Rickson reached Alina, he paused, sniffing the air around her, around the vial. His hot breath ghosted across her skin, and she fought every instinct screaming at her to run. Then the cub sat back on his haunches, opened his mouth, and waited. Alina's hands trembled as she poured the remaining medicine into Rickson's maw. He swallowed without a sound, without protest, his yellow eyes never leaving hers. In that moment, something fundamental shifted. The apex predator and the fragile human locked in a gaze that transcended species, transcended the violence their peoples had inflicted on each other. It was trust in its purest form, vulnerable, terrifying, and absolutely essential. Rixon's tail, which had been lashing aggressively for days, slowly curled around Alina's wrist. Not threatening, seeking comfort. Good boy, Alina whispered, her voice thick with emotion. You're going to be okay. As the medicine began its work, Rixon finally allowed himself to collapse against the human's side, his massive head resting against her lap. The containment bay's medical sensors registered a decrease in his fever, a stabilization of his vital signs, but more importantly, they registered something the xenobiologists had declared impossible: a Cathari predator cub, trusting a human completely. Later, as Alina sat in the medical bay having her stomach pumped exactly as predicted, her supervisor stood over her with a mixture of fury and awe. That was the most reckless, dangerous, idiotic thing I've ever witnessed, he said. Alina smiled weakly. But it worked. It worked, he admitted grudgingly. Rixon's responding to treatment. His fever's breaking. He's even eating now. He paused. He won't let anyone else near him except you. Then I guess I have a patient to get back to, because that's what humans did. They found impossible problems and solved them in impossible ways. They built bridges where others saw only chasms. They offered trust where others offered only fear. And sometimes, just sometimes, they took a sip of medicine meant for an alien predator cub and changed everything.